Good morning. We are live. I had intended to come and have a really fun show for you today, starting this New Year's. Um, but yeah, woke up this morning to the tragedy happening in New Orleans. So let's get into it. Let's dig right into it. Let's do this. Good morning. So we had a bit of a change of plans this morning. All night last night, I was actually really looking forward to today. Is the first day of the year. Let's kick it off right. Let's get back in the saddle. Let's get back in the fight. Let's do this. I don't know about you, but after the election, I've been so disappointed in the country. Um, People have made all kinds of assumptions and about what we're going through. One moron sat on television talking about we're defeated and how defeated we are. I've never felt defeated after this last election. I didn't. I felt disgusted. The emotions I've gone through, everything I've gone through has been about an eye opening to just how screwed up a people we are. And that's what I've been dealing with, and I know a lot of people have echoed back to me that it's how you folks have been feeling also. But no, nobody's felt defeated. So today was going to be a renaissance, a rebirth, a let's hit it again. Let's do it. Happy New Year's, man. 2025, nothing's changed about us. We are still who we are. We are still the core of decency in this country. And I'll be damned if we're just going to let the country go down in flames because of one greedy grifter, sorry bastard son of a bitch. That's how I was coming out this morning. I wanted to hear about your New Year's resolutions. I wanted to hear about the good stuff. I wanted to hear about the good stuff from you folks in the chat. I want to hear your New Year's resolutions. I want to hear what's going on. That's the show I had planned this morning. I have a really great story that I love to tell. That I wanted to tell today, and it was just going to be an all-around good show. And then I woke up. Thank you, Dollar Stars. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. Really do. I woke up to this. $3:15 in the morning. Psychopath drove through barricades on Bourbon Street. If you've never been to Bourbon Street, it's a crowded place. I mean, it is literally wall to wall people, but thank God it was 3:15 in the morning. Even Bourbon Street starts to slow down by 3:15 in the morning. But this psychopath gets in his truck and drove through the barriers, and so far we know that he killed 10 people and injured about 30. The details are still shaky. People are sharing some really, really horrific images from this because everybody's got a cell phone. There are hotels that overlook this entire area, so people went out on their balconies and started filming. I'm not going to show any of that, folks. I'm sorry. You're in the wrong place if you think if you think you're going to get that kind of stuff. You're not. This one is a relatively safe image. He slammed into a large lift, got out of his truck, and ended up in a shootout with police. Details are very, very sparse right now. I made one assumption, and it is an assumption, folks. It is. I'm going to tell you right now, up front, it is an assumption. There's nothing being reported that he stole this truck or this was anybody else's truck, anything other than this was his truck. We don't even have the guy's name at this point. But we do see his truck, and of course, it's got Texas plates on it. Of course, he's from Texas. And I know that yes, that is an assumption at this point. We don't have an identification of him, but yeah, his truck has Texas. He's from Texas. God damn it, he's from Texas. Jerry Anderson, thank you for the support, my friend. My wife says to me, why do people do these things? I have no answer for her. I have no answer. And we won't know for a while. We won't know for a while. This is an assumption a lot of people are bringing to the table. I'm not going to go quite there yet because one, I don't know anything, and as the show progresses, if you people get details, hey, we're a community here. Please share them in the live chat. If you get any verified details that come out about this, changes in people's conditions or whatnot. But yeah, there's no telling. That is a Ford Lightning EV. That's an EV. That's an electric vehicle. That doesn't scream MAGA to me, so I don't know. I got somebody in the audience saying it was a rental. I have read nothing about that being a rental at all. But yeah, just to recap what I know. An insane individual. I don't care what his motives were. I don't care what you have to be insane to do something like that. You do. Drove through the barriers on Bourbon Street, and I've been to Bourbon. I love New Orleans. I do. I absolutely love history and New Orleans. You can walk into the French Quarter in New Orleans, and you can put yourself back at the birth of our nation. You can. It's just it is living history. The streets, everything are just walking, living history. Not to mention that I love a muffalata from Central Grocery too. So yeah, something about a sandwich that you take a bite of and olive oil runs all the way down your arm that just touches my heart. But yeah, yeah. If you've ever been down there, they're wooden barriers. They don't put T-rails up. People, the streets all around Bourbon Street are full of houses. People live on these cross streets and whatnot. They have to drive there. So no, they don't have permanent barriers on Bourbon Street. It's a street. When it's not party time, there are cars driving up and down the street. It is a street. But yeah, folks, I can't tell you. It's wall to wall people. When I heard this, I was just sick. Bourbon Street is, if you've never been, don't let this discourage you. Don't. This is going to be some psychopath moron. Bourbon Street. Yes, I am a foodie. Yes, I am, brother. I'm fat for a reason. Bourbon Street is a great place. It is a great place. I have never had anything but good experiences and a great time on Bourbon Street. There's so many Pat O'Brien's. There are so many great places down there. And I love a good piano bar. I do. Lots of great live. You can hear some great Zydeco music. You can hear. It's just a good time, folks. But it is wall to wall people. I mean, they shut the street down, and people are walking up and down the street. And I mean, it's literally shoulder to shoulder people the whole time. But that's why it was just so horrific to me when I saw this, because I know how densely packed it can be. Then I saw it was at 3:15 in the morning, and I was like, "Oh, thank God," because even New Orleans will start to clear out by about 3 o'clock in the morning. This would have been so much worse if this had happened at midnight or 1 or even 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, two police officers were shot, and the suspect is dead. We don't know much about him, but that's all I can really tell you about it. I don't want to. Again, there are some horrific images. If you want to go look that up, go look that up. But I'm not going to share that. It was also extremely crowded. Thank you for pointing that out again. It was also extremely crowded because the Sugar Bowl's today. Notre Dame and Georgia we're about to play, are going to play this afternoon. So yeah, I mean, it was a super crowd. I mean, other than you got New Year's, the celebration on Bourbon Street, and New Year's is great, anyways. But then also the Sugar Bowls today. They're going to play down in New Orleans at the Superdome, the old Superdome, and it's just just a tragedy. So you folks are some of the most informed people I know. You're on top of things. If you hear things, feel free to share them in the chat. We'll go back and revisit it as people, but please, no speculation, no nothing like that. Just share good information, okay? This also happened. God damn. Forgive my cussing, but I work really hard to teach people that what Texas is. I do. I work really hard to teach people what Texas is. And people have a lot of assumptions because the loudmouths, the MAGA trash, the stupid things that our government does, and this jackass right here, and a long series of jackasses going back to George W. Bush have been our governor. And it's hard to convince people. No, there are millions of people like me in this state. Millions. Just glad to open up a door for you, or pull out and help you out if your car breaks down. Just good and decent people everywhere. And then this turd floats up to the top of the bowl again. My governor, my brilliant frickin' governor, sent condolences to Rosalynn Carter over Jimmy Carter's death. As if it wasn't common knowledge that Rosalynn Carter died 3 years ago. Way to show love to the family there. I mean, you couldn't even bother to find out the basic information. They just don't. They don't care. They don't. They don't care. They don't give a damn about anything but themselves. And they're not going to take a second to, I mean, my God, just to Google. It's just, folks, this is not Texas. I'm going to try one more time. This is not Texas. Texas is an amazing place. It really is an amazing place. It's like no place on earth. In far East Texas, let me change that. That's an arrogant thing to say. Texas is like every place on earth, is a better way to put it. In far East Texas, where I live, we live in forests. We do. It is an amazing forest. It's called the Piney Woods. It's incredible. The trees are 60, 70 feet tall. The highways are claustrophobic. When you drive down the highway, you're like in a tunnel because it's edged by trees. It's amazing. It's if you don't live in a forest and you drive into East Texas, this is like, wow, this is different. You know, I mean, I mean, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Then you move a little bit west and you get into the plains. The Great Plains didn't end in Nebraska. They came all the way down here into Texas. Dallas, the trees are only trees you see around are like mesquite trees, where the cattle that were brought up from South Texas and Mexico all had bellies full of mesquite seeds, because mesquite seeds are sweet, by the way. Um, they had bellies full of mesquite seeds, and they pooped all the way up the Great Plains. So yeah, the only trees you see are like scrub mesquites that people barbecue forever and a day until they find out it's cancer and people quit using mesquite. But used to make great barbecue. It really did. But yeah, it was just amazing. Then if you keep going farther south, if southeast, you've got the coast. Houston, Galveston, all the way down to Brownsville. You've got the Texas coast, Redneck Riviera, if you want to call it. But in central Texas, you keep going south, you hit the hill country, which is amazing. It is a geologically amazing thing to see. You have the limestone based hill country that is the edge of the plains. It's the separation between the desert, the Mexican desert, and the Great Plains. And it's just little towns like Fredericksburg, little German communities. And yeah, pink granite. They're you have to forgive me, my brain is locked up. There's a park. Mrs. Texas Paula helped me out with this. We've been several times. I'm just having a brain lock. I've actually been there several times. Enchanted Rock. There you go. Enchanted Rock. It's just a huge pink granite outcropping. They use the pink granite. If you ever look at the Texas Capitol sometime, it's made out of granite that was mined out of a place called Marble Falls, quarried out of a place called Marble Falls. It is just, the hill country is a neat place to go. If you ever get a chance to go to Fredericksburg, I wouldn't make a whole trip out of it, but it's good to see. President Johnson was from the hill country. Johnson City is in the hill country. It is the border between, and then if you keep going south, part of Texas I love, the part of Texas I'm from, it's the Mexican desert. It's the edge of the Mexican desert, the Mexican Badlands. It is arid, bushes, trees. It's kind of funny. A cedar tree here, you can't push that over. No. And it'll grow to, 40, 50 feet tall. Where I'm from, a cedar tree is a bush. It's a bush. You could literally take the bucket of your tractor and push them over, because they grow on limestone. Is what little dirt settled on top of the limestone. The roots are like this deep. That's it. Yeah, the Bernie area is pretty. Yeah, Bernie is neat. That is pronounced Bernie here. I know it's spelled born, but we have this habit here in Texas. There's a town south of Austin called Buda, Buda, not Buddha, Buda. San Antonio's in Bexar County, spelled Bexar. Don't know why. We just have a habit. It's in the culture. We just misspell shit, mispronounce it, whatever you want to say. But we've got our own way of doing things. Amy Manuel, thank you. Crystal Rooms and Longhorn Caverns. Yeah, there's just amazing stuff to see. And if you keep going west, you run into the Davis Mountains, which... Yeah, if you folks from the Rockies and the Appalachians, I know that ain't mountains. Yeah, well, we call them mountains. So yeah, and then the Panhandle, is all plains. It's a really incredible place, and the people are nice. I know I'm beating this horse to death. I'm sorry. The people are really fantastically nice for the most part. Good and decent people. There's a lot of liberals here. There are millions of them, and so please don't don't let my idiot governor or the last idiot governor or the last idiot governor before that and the Republicans that are broken inside, screwed up in the head, crazy people give you any kind of idea of what Texas is. Texas is, I guarantee you, I am more Texas than anything you see out of these Republican trash. I just am. Yeah, Galveston is a great place. Galveston is a great place. It is. Thank you for support, Gene. I appreciate you. Hmm. Butter's a neat town. It's south of Austin. It's a neat little town. It is. Again, not something I'd make a trip out of, but if you ever end up in Austin, it is. It's a neat little town and some great barbecue. Luling, Lockhart, all those little towns are just incredible. Of course, when we say barbecue here, we mean brisket. That's what we're talking about. Happy New Year's, Rich. Happy New Year. But yeah, that happened. That moron did that. So let's talk about MAGA for a minute before we get into the story I'd like to tell you. This is happening. I am absolutely loving this. Let's enjoy. Let's pick things up and make things a little happier. Let's talk about MAGA tears. Let's just taste some MAGA tears. This happened. Again, this is from Yassine. Fantastic follow on any platform you're on. You can find Yassine. He's like me. He's on every platform. Just ACYN. Google it. This guy does a great job of taking clips that are longer, that are just make your eyes glaze over, and cutting them down to the important part. He's a wonderful follow. So this happens.
Why'd you change your mind on H-1B visas?
I didn't change my mind. I've always felt we have to have the most competent people in our country. We need competent people. We need smart people coming into our country. And we need a lot of people coming in. We're going to have jobs like we've never had before.
But sir, you said you changed your position. You plan to go to the Carter funeral now?
Okay. He's never opposed H-1B. He didn't change his mind. He didn't, no, Lord, no. He didn't change his mind. Yeah, he did. And MAGA are in full freak out mode about it. This is Trump in 2020 suspending the H-1B visa program. We all heard and saw with our own eyes. Yes, yeah. Trump was anti-immigration, anti-H-1B visas, actually suspended them at one point during his presidency. Yeah, and now he's not. And he's not because this is his last go-round. It is. MAGA are slowly waking up to, and our side are slowly waking up to, that we didn't go anywhere and we're not ready to give our country up. And we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that son of a bitch doesn't turn into a fascist leader. We're not going to have a Trump dictatorship. We're going to do anything and everything we have to do. By any means necessary, we are not going to have a Trump dictatorship. And it's starting to soak in, and Trump is realizing that he's going to grift everything he can. So he is sucking up to Elon Musk and the money people. And they want the H-1B visas. And that is going to be a hallmark of this presidency on every single issue. And you know who's figuring that out as well? MAGA. Denise Parrish, thank you, Texas Paul and Mrs. Texas Paul, keeping us informed. Happy New Year. Feeling blessed. Glad to hear it. I want everybody going into this new year strong and happy. So yeah, this has been great. Elon Musk came out with this statement. The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck your face. fuck yourself in your face. He said that. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. And there goes my monetization of this show. That's all right. I don't care. We're going to tell it like it is. That's what he said. That's what the man said. He said, you can go fuck your face if you're against H-1B visas. No, I'm not against H-1B visas. I'm not. I am not against it at all. I just want the system reformed because, people like Elon Musk get in, who didn't have shit to offer when he got here. He didn't. And frankly, he's just capitalized on the work of other people. I mean, what has Elon Musk ever offered? Other than he's just like Trump. He sells the dream. And I'll admit, I was one of the first people to fall for it. I was. I really thought he was going to do great things back when he was building Tesla, bucking the trend, the American car industry, hell, even the Japanese car and the German car industry were opposing EVs. And I fell for it. I did. But then, we have to at some point look back and see exactly what he's done, which is not a damn thing. The emperor has no clothes. But MAGA has figured it out. MAGA's figured out that, the money guys are going to be calling the shots and Trump is going to get paid. That's what this election, or pardon me, this regime is going to be all about. And this is one of the kinder meltdowns. This is Dominic Trippy, one of the guys who lost his blue dot. Donald is now reposting Elon's pro-immigration sentiment. So we're talking about more immigrants, more before mass deportations even start. This is not what we voted for, not in capital letters, not what we voted for. And Elon, they're